Okay, let's go.
I think I figured it out. I think I figured out how to run an actual machine shop, not like a hobby struggle machine shop. I'm talking compliant, high dollar, fun, you know, the cool stuff. So today we're going to talk about what changed inside of my machine shop to hit the sales that we did in 2025, which is $231,768 and something cents. I don't know. I have to go look at my paper. Last year, or the year before, because 2024, we hit $75,000-ish dollars. And this year we did roughly 3 times that with less labor on the machines. Could you imagine that? We actually ran the machines less this year than we did last year, but we did 3 times the amount of sales. So we're going to go through what changed inside of this building, which isn't much at all. What actually changed was the compliance structure that the machine shop runs off of. The industries it serves has completely changed. And then we're going to talk about the Machine Shop Launchpad group. The Machine Shop Launchpad group has done amazing. Those guys inside of that group are killing it. From people that are starting shops that look 10 times nicer than mine, to guys that started with literally nothing, no experience and no money to put forward, to having a actual business they're running out of their garage. And yeah, we're just going to talk about all that stuff. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the compliance structure that I'm following and what industries I'm serving. So the industries that I'm serving now is the Department of Defense and all of the flow down requirements in the contracts inside of the DoD space. Also doing commercial work, also doing just work all over the place. Nothing that requires AS9100D yet. It's all CMMC level 1, CMMC level 2, ITAR and JCP work. That's what I'm doing. A little bit of context on that. If you guys are interested in trying to pursue those things, we're going to put a ton of information about how to actually go about becoming compliant to all of these things inside of the group, because the YouTube video that I would have to make on this would be so unbelievably long, and it's going to cover some sensitive topics that I just don't want to push out to the free world. So if you want to learn how to do the Department of Defense type of work, go to the Machine Shop Launchpad group, go to the ITAR section, and in the ITAR section, there's ITAR compliance, CMMC level 1 compliance, CMMC level 2 compliance, and JCP compliance. Right after this video, I'm going to start working on that. It should take about a week or 2 to get done. So everyone in the group's waiting for it, and you guys now know that it's coming out. So let's talk about the guys in the group now. The guys in the group have done an amazing job. So let's go through a couple of pictures. We won't show pictures of their houses and we won't show pictures of their street. We're going to show pictures of their machine shops, how they're doing, what their thought process is, and so on and so forth. Inside of the group, we have a lot of people asking questions all the time about compliance, machines, power requirements, how they're going to fit inside of their garage, ways to pick them up, how do you order, how do you schedule freight, stuff like that. We have a couple of guys that are doing really well in different aspects and other guys that are doing well in others. So the first guy I'm going to mention is Sanir, and I know I just butchered his name, but I can't pronounce his name. This is his machine shop here. He has this big green lathe. He has 2 of them. He got from a place he previously worked at, and then he has his Fortune V-Center H500. That is a beast of a machine. And then this little crane, because he has to load his tombstones in. I've been to his shop twice or 3 times now, 2 or 3 times. And every time it's pretty brief because it's a 3.5 hour drive for me. But we meet up, we talk about stuff. I'm in central Pennsylvania. He's located in Philadelphia. So we've been through a couple of stuff. Let me go through here. Not everyone's uploaded into here yet just because they haven't uploaded photos. John J just purchased a VF3 from either SpaceX, Tesla, or Blue Origin. I'm not too sure which company, but here he is cleaning out his machine. And this was November. Driving it around, putting it down. There's another photo. So he actually has a warehouse that he can put his machine in, and he's learning from scratch pretty much, but he's doing a good job. Here's his setup. There's a picture there. There's a picture of his VF3 right here. Good setup, 2 toolboxes, a programming computer right here. What is that, Fusion 360? Yeah, it is. Oh, and he has the same saw that I have as well. And that red saw back there, those things suck. I'm sure he knows that. But this saw right here is pretty good. They're both from Harbor Freight. We have, let's see here. Andrew Goodwin's shop is probably like the nicest, just because of like the floor, the wall quality, everything like that, and the machines that he has. Like, look at the pneumatic and power lines on the ceiling. He has a digital phase converter for his 3-phase machines, not a rotary. He has a small Fanuc or Fanuc robo drill, however you want to pronounce it. And he has a twin spindle Y-axis live tooling Mazak, which is super nice. And he got all this tooling with it here. And we actually had a conversation about this. He was bidding on the machine and he was like, hey, I'm seeing some photos of like bins stacked like 7 bins high. And he only saw the items on the very top of the bins. And I was like, you might get lucky and there might be items in every bin. And sure enough, when he showed up, there was collets and tooling in every single bin. That machine he only paid about $8,000 for, I think. It might be 14.8. I have to go look at the chat. He got this from an auction, but there's like a Titans of CNC part that he did to test his knowledge. Zoom in. That seems pretty good. Chip conveyor, the configuration. It doesn't have Y-axis, my bad. It doesn't look like it does. But there's the sub spindle, there's the main spindle. So his shop is pretty nice. That's where he bought it from. Had the bar feeder on the back and everything. And that's where the conversation with the bins right there, we were like, hey, there might be stuff in those other bins. And sure enough, there was. And he has just, you know, this Fanuc robo drill here, which is a pretty nice machine. And then he has a Kaiser air compressor. And these things are super nice, super quiet, tons of CFM. So inside of the Machine Shop Launchpad group, we have tons of communications about different things. Like, they were asking questions. Xometry uses a token system over Google Chrome. B2B ITAR jobs use WinRAR with an AES 256-bit encrypted zip file. We go through how to make a encrypted zip file. And we just have conversations about stuff in here. Pricing, different markets, different advertising strategies, considerations for machines. It's just nonstop. So now that we talked about the guys inside of the group, those guys are doing great. I love everything that they're doing. I love all the questions they ask and all the perspectives that they have, because they're guys that are in like IT, software development, all of that stuff, from engineering to fields that are completely unrelated to manufacturing, and they're just doing a great job. So now let's go through the structure of the machine shop and someone inside of our group that's getting that thing right there. I'm phasing that out, so it's best to just go to someone that needs it the most right now. And they're the one guy who went from knowing nothing about machining, welding to machining. He quit his job in welding, bought a Tormach PCNC, yeah, personal CNC. Yeah, he bought a Tormach PCNC 440. He's talked to me about the struggles of that machine. The machine's, it's okay. It's a machine, it makes parts, it makes money. It's one of the cheapest options other than buying an industrial used giant machine. So for someone that has limited space and limited power, the machine was perfect. So his name's Aldo. He did a great job. He started with no experience in machining, came from welding, learned everything from YouTube, started machining aluminum, passed his entry-level Xometry test and got into the like commercial market on Xometry, which, mind you, is kind of bad. It sucks for revenue. He has an extremely high quality score, extremely high on-time delivery, and he built their QMS in a box system, which allows him to get into their premium group with better work, difficult work, and he's in it now. Going from no experience to barely any missed deliveries, barely any quality problems, now into their higher tier, not inside of their defense contracting, not inside of their ISO, AS, whatever. He's just inside of premium. And now he's seeing the work that I saw in 2024. So we're looking at passing him that machine here. He's gonna come in a couple of months and pick it up. We're gonna go to a Sile L2. So we're gonna have the Sile X7 right here, and we're also gonna have a Sile L2. The shop might change around a little bit. Or we might not be in this shop anymore in a couple of months, because we're gonna try to buy another house with a way larger garage, just so it's a bigger footprint, and kind of grow organically. We don't want to go to a massive spot with $5,000 a month in rent and then just have higher risk. We want to do this as peacefully as possible with the best peace of mind, because at the end of the day, if you're not having fun and you're stressed out all the time, why are you doing it? So let's go check out that machine right there. Then let's check out the entire shop, and yeah, that'll be pretty much it for this video. So here she is, 1997, the same year I was born. She's got the pneumatic actuator for the collet closer right here. It's got the collet closer in the back. It has a broken coolant pump. Here's the solenoid system with the pressure regulator on the back for the collet pressure. We have the belt system down here for the spindle that's completely torn apart because this is a VFD driven spindle now, which has no horsepower at 100 RPM. We have the joystick operation, control on emergency stop, absolute featureless control. It's actually not a bad machine. It's just a pain in the butt to use. We have down here 5C collets, baby. Rusty 5C collets. And clean, polished 5C collets. There you go. Look at that. Look how clean that is. Yeah. Then we have a VFD down here on the side, a bucket full of chips. The machine is 220 volts single phase with a VFD on the inside that sends 3-phase power to the motor. And it also, this control right here plugs into a 120 volt socket. And on the back, we have a floppy disk on the bottom. That is the boot for the machine. Like, this guy right here is what tells the machine it is not a toaster. Yup, definitely not a toaster when you get that in there. And then this is the one that you put the memory for the programs in. Oh my goodness. There we go. OmniTurn 2. I don't know if this is actually the second edition of anything, but maybe it's just disc 2. So yeah, this is going to Aldo. He's gonna come pick it up with his dad in a couple of months, and I'm gonna have a lathe here. So let's go through this. This is the setup cart. This is where I have all of the vices, the keys, the T-nuts, everything. As you can see, there's a 3-jaw chuck that goes in the 5C collet, and this thing chatters pretty bad because of the diameter it contacts versus the distance and diameter it holds at. But when you need it, you need it. 3-jaw chuck for the table. 4-inch Kurt DX crossfire vise with some big aluminum jaws that I made for a longer part. Just a bunch of random crap. Like, let me go down here. I made this in school. It's a stop for a table, jack screws, BT30 pull studs. This is actually pretty valuable. It's I can hold this in a vise, and it's just a top with a bunch of threaded holes. I can clamp parts that are large down and do features that I can't typically do when I hold onto it in a vise. So over here we have the programming computer, the printer, my contact lenses so I can see my parts, printer paper, manila folders. In here is the world's largest collection of wrenches. Yup. Anything you might ever need. This is a laparoscopic surgery tool. Look at that. The world's nicest pliers. Okay, so I just got this chair in today. It's pretty nice. Actually got a new chair at the house, so I brought this one in because this chair was losing all of its wheels. Look at that. Look at that grossness. That thing didn't roll for crap. Okay. Now we have the hardness tester, the HRC, the HRB gauge. We have the Keyence XM CMM. It's like a camera-based CMM that tracks points in space. It does pretty much anything that you need it to measure inside of the stage. The stage is pretty nice. It moves all over the place. It pivots. There are sensors right here that get traced by the camera. so it can, you know, map where the table is. And it also has sensors on the handle, and there's a Renishaw probe on the tip. I'll show you guys. There you go. Yeah, so that probe touches off of points on your part. You can do just generic features, or you can do like 3D model-based scanning. All of the tooling for the Keans is in there. Pins and stuff like that we need to do serialization for our ISO 9001 compliance, because this one's new to me, and this is my legacy set, number 9975, and the system for, you know, tracking that needs calibrated here in a little bit. Medical cabinet clock that changes colors. I like that clock a lot. It's pretty fun. Just keeps the energy in here alive. So right here we have all of this stuff. We have the rags, impulse sealer, bubble mailers, zometry tape, normal tape. Over here we have the Tessa Height 400 height gauge. This thing's super nice for tight tolerances. We have the Mitutoyo height gauge. I think it's the 12-inch or the 16-inch. That's super nice as well with the test indicator. We have a nice surface plate. It's relatively large. I think it's like 36 by 25, 24, something like that. This is the toolbox I was using when I was employed. It's pretty nice. It's got a lot of just random tools in it, like markers, tape, a million taps. I actually got these at an auction. These, like, that was the best purchase ever, because I break a tap off, boom, I have 1,000 of them, you know? Like, if I bought that, that would be expensive. I paid like 20 bucks for all those taps. We have a good "Your Did It" sticker for every time I complete a job. We have massive calipers up there. We have big ones, middle of the road ones, and then personal belongings up there in that little orange thing. Surface grinder on a digital phase converter from 220 to whatever 3-phase it needs. The whiteboard for schedule. The hot shot heat treat oven. We upgraded the electrical service from 20 amps to, I think it was like 30 amps in here. 20 or 30 amps to 100 amps. And you know, this machine shop was running on nothing, because in here, this environment, this was the only machine plugged in, and my air compressor in the back and the lights. The panel box that was right here on my other videos was actually hooked up to the pull outside. And when the pull pump kicks on, it uses 20 amps. So I was left with like 10 in here. And the reason I turned the controller away is because the refresh rate of the buttons matches the refresh rate on the camera. So it blinks like that. Inside of the machine, we have a rotary 0-point system from Silver CNC. Vice changes in under like 10 seconds, super nice. We have a 4-inch DX Crossfire Pro Kurt vise with a custom fixture in there for a part I did earlier, a profile that you can't really hold on to without soft jaws, but the profile needed to be bolted down like that. We have a hydraulic holder in here with an 1/8-inch end mill. 6 flute 1/8-inch end mill. It does about 400 inches a minute in 3/16 stainless steel at a 5% step over. It's pretty nice. And then we have a lot of different tooling in here, but you can see primarily the jobs that I do are pretty small. We have another rougher mill for stainless steel, smaller drill and a Jacobs chuck. We have end mills for roughing out aluminum, edge finders, everything. And then we have the table probe down here. But the machine is fairly small. Here are the travels of the machine right here. 15 by 15 by 11. So yeah, it's pretty small. Then we have the storage rack right here from Hout. It's a BT30 storage rack. We have some toe clamps right here. More fixtures and material. And let's go back here. So we have a saw from Harbor Freight that I just cleaned up really well over New Year's vacation. We have a dual pedestal grinder with a rubber polishing wheel and a cloth polishing wheel. The Fortress Ultra Quiet Harbor Freight air compressor. A penny jack for pressing in bearings and things like that. and then material storage. And a lot of my material has the material test report traceability along with it, because all of the work that I do, for the most part, needs to be DFARS compliant material that has full traceability, material test reports, everything. So yeah, let me throw you guys back up on the tripod. So that was pretty much what the machine shop went through in 2025. And now for 2026, this year is probably gonna hold a ton of different experiences. We might become ISO 9001. Officially, we might become AS 9100D. We are already CMMC level 1, CMMC level 2. We are JCP, we are ITAR. Maybe we're gonna become C3PAO in the future if the contracts require it for better work, bigger profits, whatever, then we might do that. But yeah, this is the machine shop. This is what I've been doing. If you guys wanna know any intricacies as far as what I do inside of the shop, any processes or whatever that I can lightly skim over on the YouTube channel, just let me know in the comments below. In 2026, I want to help as many people as possible start their own machine shops. That's why I make these YouTube videos. So hey guys, leave a comment down below and let me know if you have any questions. And until next time, take care.